The roar of the engines enveloped me, a deafening symphony of chaos and fear. The plane bucked violently, shaking my body like a rag doll. I tightened my grip on the armrest, my knuckles pale against the dark upholstery. Panic coursed through the cabin, a collective gasp rising and falling like the tide. It was as if the air itself was a living thing, thick, oppressive, filled with an unshakable dread. Suddenly, we dropped, a swift descent that clawed at my stomach. My heart raced, beating a frantic rhythm against my chest as I felt weightless, suspended in that moment between the ground and the endless sky. The acrid scent of burnt metal permeated the cabin, mixing with the cold sweat that trickled down my forehead. I could hear terrible, fractured sounds. Cries of terror, the frantic exclamations of the flight attendants, the shrill ringing of warning bells, an orchestra of impending doom. Sensation fractured into shards of memory, the innocent laughter of my students echoing in my mind, snippets of a telephone conversation with my partner before I boarded. We had just finished discussing dinner plans, the mundane chatter of everyday life, blissfully unaware of the calamity that awaited. My breath hitched as the plane tilted violently to the right. I could feel my body slamming against my seat, my heart racing faster, pulling me into despair. Time stretched, a mocking illusion in that chaotic moment. Screams melded into one desperate plea, harmonizing with the pounding pulse in my ears. Faces around me transformed into masks of horror, eyes wide open, reflecting my own terror back at me. Everyone trapped in this metallic bird spiraling toward oblivion. And just like that, the world tilted sideways, and I lost my grip on reality. I wanted to scream, to shout that I loved them all, that I had so much left to do. But I was merely a spectator in a nightmare, caught between actions and the swirling current of fate. I felt a sudden jolt, something breaking, the sound reverberating like an ominous bell tolling for the last time, a harbinger that echoed deep within my soul. Then came the moment we were all waiting for, the collision that would shatter our lives. The impact seared through the cabin like a violent thunderclap, muscles tensing in preparation for chaos. The sound was monstrous, a cacophony of groans and snaps, the anguished cries of people wafting like smoke through the air. My heart exploded into a cacophony of fear. I could taste metal on my tongue as I braced for the end. But just as quickly, everything fell silent, a profound, haunting quiet. The noise of our existence dissipated into the ether, swallowed by the vastness of my surroundings that had become an empty void. I felt the weight of darkness settle over me, that eeriness that spoke of finality. The silence surrounded me like a chilling embrace, a juxtaposition to the chaos that had consumed moments before. And then, beneath the waves, there was only stillness, a budding awareness that this chaos was over. The plane, the fear, the dread, all lost to the depths, and I was left drifting alone in the cold, dark silence, echoing the void that swallowed me whole. I linger in the shadows of awareness, detached from the chaos that consumed my final moments. My name is Anne, and I was a teacher, a nurturer of curious minds, an ordinary woman living an extraordinary life. As I float in this ethereal expanse, I struggle to piece together the fragments of who I was, clinging like a shipwrecked sailor to the remnants of love and regret that weave through my thoughts. I can still feel the warmth of my daughter, Lily, nestled against my side as we chatted that morning. I had promised her I would return in time for her school play, her excitement bubbling over as she recounted her lines. "You'll be proud of me, Mom. I'll wear the blue dress and I'll shine." My heart ached with the tenderness of her words, shimmering like sunlight on water. I can picture her now, with those bright, eager eyes, alive and vibrant. Did she understand how much I adored her? Did she realize the depth of my love? As I drift through memory, I am washed ashore once more to the moments before I boarded that fateful flight.
The airport was a bustling hive, teeming with life. Yet amidst the chatter and laughter, there was an undercurrent of unease. I remember the sensation of the ticket in my pocket, the crumpled notes I had scribbled to myself, reminders for my students about their upcoming tests, little things, trivial worries that, on the brink of calamity, suddenly felt so trivial, so fleeting. The last conversation with my partner, David, plays like a whisper in the wind. I can still hear his voice, filled with love, yet laced with an unspoken fear. "Take care of yourself, Anne. I know you'll be fine. Just promise me you'll call when you land." I had brushed his concern aside, unable to fathom the fate that would soon befall us.
"Of course, I will," I assured him. "It's just a quick trip. I'll be back before you know it." But there was a twinge of hesitation in my tone, a fleeting instinct that urged me to hold him just a little tighter, to brandish my heart wide open. As I left, our eyes locked. That moment lingered, an intangible thread anchoring my spirit to his. Now, as I hover in this boundless expanse, that love remains a glowing ember, a truth that refuses to fade. I wish I could reach out, to tell them, to scream my love into the universe, but the sensation of my voice escapes me. I float in this limbo, a disconnected whisper. My memories, though sweet, carry a weight of sorrow. They flutter through my consciousness like leaves caught in a gentle breeze, reminding me of every unspoken word. There is an ache in my heart, a longing to reclaim the mundane moments I once took for granted. The feel of Lily's hand in mine as we walked through the park, her laughter echoing against the trees. The cozy warmth of our living room, where I would curl up of a book after a long day. The sweet smell of coffee filling the air. These were the moments that stitched the fabric of my life, pieces of a puzzle I unraveled without thought, unaware of their significance until now. I drift back to the watch on my wrist, a gift from David on our anniversary. How could something so small encapsulate a significant part of my world? It was a simple silver wristwatch, its engravings finely detailed, beautiful in its complexity. As I touch it, I feel its cool surface beneath my fingers, a tether to the life I cherished, a reminder of the moments that once ticked by. I can almost hear its faint ticking, a heartbeat echoing through time. The watch symbolized not just our love, but every second spent together, every laugh shared, every tear shed. It held within it the essence of our lives, a chronicle of love and dreams suspended in time. Yet, as I peer through the veil of my surroundings, I feel its weight transform into something heavier, something that stirs the shadows of unfulfilled promises. I sense a depth to the watch. Perhaps within it lies a hidden message, a recording of my voice meant for those I love. Was there something I wanted to say, a secret I clung to? In the moments before everything changed, it represented hope, a way to preserve the best parts of me. But now, ensconced in darkness, I am left with the haunting thought that I might never be able to share it. My heart twinges with regret as I realize the fragility of time. In the wake of my absence, what will happen to those I love? Will they find solace in my memories? Will they understand the depths of my unwavering love? Or will it drift like a whisper into the void, forever lost on the wind? As my spirit floats in this starlit limbo, I close my eyes. The echoes of laughter, the warmth of love, those moments tucked safely away in every heartbeat, these flickering lights guide me back to the surface of my consciousness. Here I exist, caught in the space between who I was and who I longs to be, a figure trapped in the twilight of memory and longing, desperately reaching for the warmth of connection. In the softness of that remembrance, the moments before the tragedy began to swirl around me like autumn leaves caught in a gentle breeze. I could see the sun pouring through our kitchen window, filling the space with golden light that danced across the surface of the table where I had set down my coffee. It was just a regular morning, infused with the ordinary rhythm of family life. My hands trembled slightly as I cradled the mug, warmth seeping through the ceramic,
a familiar comfort that felt eternal. "Mom, can I wear my fairy wings to school today?" Lily's voice chirped, breaking through my reverie. I turned to her, encountering her bright eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, and in that moment, everything felt perfect. "Of course, sweetheart," I replied, a smile breaking across my face like dawn. How could I have known that such simple exchanges, filled with laughter and love, were the last of their kind? As the coffee cooled in the mug before me, I stole a glance out the window. The sky was darker than usual, clouds swirling ominously on the horizon, an uncharacteristic portent that lingered in the back of my mind like an echo of warning. Still, I brushed the unease aside, lost in the buoyancy of familial bonds, the laughter, the shared food, the comfort of presence. Not even the hint of something amiss could taint the joy as I helped Lily fasten her wings, her giggles wrapping around us like a soft blanket. "If you keep that up, you'll be the most magical fairy the world has ever seen," I teased her, delighting in the way her face lit up at every word. As she twirled, the fabric glittering in the sunlight, I felt grounded in that moment, unaware that every second spent here was a treasure to be cherished, a blissful fragment of time swiftly slipping away. After breakfast, the commotion of packing filled our small kitchen. I found myself caught in the to-do list of the day, making sure I had everything for the trip, a quick call to my colleague about grades, choosing the right book to take with me. Routine demands became my focus, and I was blissfully unaware of the warnings being whispered from somewhere deep within my gut. A strange dream had stirred me from sleep the night before, filled with surreal images of turbulence and falling. Not that I acknowledged it. How could I have known those were signs? As I prepared to leave, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, adjusting my hair and fastening the watch. "You look beautiful, Mom!" Lily shouted from across the room as she brushed her own hair with fervor. I couldn't help but return her spirited gaze with a wink, brushing off the internal pinprick of anxiety that pricked at my heart. "Thank you, sweet girl. Now, go grab your backpack. Time is flying." With every fading moment, the web of routine became a thin veil draping over the truth waiting beneath the surface. I retrieved my ticket from the counter, a tiny piece of paper that held the allure of adventure, mixed with the bitterness of impending fate. The excitement of the journey bound me like a ribbon, forcing me to ignore the strange feelings bubbling in my chest. "Don't forget, call me as soon as you land," David's voice floated in my mind again. I could see him leaning against the doorway, a steady presence amidst the storm brewing outside. "I won't forget," I promised earnestly, unaware that I would soon be lost within a different kind of storm altogether. Words like echoes danced between us, remnants of a love that had been woven into the fabric of our lives, a sentiment I would clumsily carry with me into the unknown. Moments later, as I rushed to the airport, the clouds thickened overhead, wrapping the world in an eerie twilight. I brushed past the throngs of passengers, moving with purpose, yet my heart began pounding with each step. The metal detectors greeted me with their cacophony of beeps as I placed my belongings in plastic bins, the clicks and whirs mingling with snippets of conversation and laughter from fellow travelers. I took a seat in the boarding area, an overwhelming surge of emotions unfurling inside me. I squeezed the watch, feeling the cool metal bite into my skin. Did I appreciate the weight it bore, the promise it symbolized? As friends waved goodbyes and families embraced, anxiety clung to me like a fog I couldn't shake. The announcement came, calling us to board, and my heart raced. Could I be living my last moments in blissful ignorance? As I settled into my seat in the aircraft, I smiled politely at my neighbor, exchanging pleasantries that felt so meaningless against the backdrop of looming darkness ahead. Moments transitioned quickly into hours, filled with casual chit-chat and the droning sounds of engines. Did I understand that this flight would be my last? Did I sense my choices coiling tightly around my fate, like the knots in a thread, binding my heart ever so tightly before it unraveled? Drifting between the present and the unfulfilled wishes, I yearned to stop time, to return to that morning light, basking in the sweetness of my daughter's laughter, to hold my partner close. Yet the gravitational pull of destiny was unforgiving. And as the plane eventually ascended into the great unknown, I unwittingly crossed the threshold into fate itself, the barrier that separated life and death dissolving in an instant, transforming my ordinary world into an extraordinary tragedy. The world shifted as I floated in that liminal space, where the echoes of my life resonated into the silence of the universe. It was there, amidst the muted colors of memory, that I began to sense the presence of an object tying me to all that I had lost, my watch. A simple but cherished piece, now lying in the depths of the wreckage, stopping time in that singular moment I left the earth behind. This watch bore my mark. The delicate engravings of my initials glimmered like the last glint of sunlight before dusk. I remember the day David surprised me with it, his laugh bouncing off the walls of our living room as he slid it onto my wrist. "For every second I want with you, Anne," he had said, his voice a soft whisper that wrapped around my heart and held it tightly against his. That moment shone like a beacon, attending to my soul with warmth and love. Every scratch and ding on its surface told a story, each imperfection a testament to the life we built together, our family outings to the park, cozy date nights at home, and the countless hours spent whispering dreams into the quiet hours of the night. How could I have known that it would bear witness to my last breath, that this unassuming piece of jewelry would hold the key to my legacy? As I drift through the quiet expanse, I can feel the familiar weight of the watch pressing against my spirit, beckoning me to return, to explore its secrets. Each tick reverberated in my thoughts, a rhythm expressing the moments I had taken for granted. This was more than just a watch. It was a vessel of memory, a symbol of time forgotten and yet forever cherished. But what was hidden within? I could sense a pulse surrounding the watch, an energy that resonated with the love I once knew. Perhaps there was more than metal and glass wrapped around my wrist, a truth buried deep, waiting to escape. Was it a letter, a recording, or just the remnants of my unfulfilled words trapped in this object of connection? In the silence of my afterlife, curiosity entwined with sorrow, I longed to uncover whatever mystery had concealed itself within the very fabric of my existence. With each fleeting memory, I was reminded of the promises I made, the aspirations I held for my daughter, the whispers of love offered to David. Did it hold the answers to the questions left unasked? I reach out, but my essence dissipates into the void, fingers brushing against unseen boundaries. I want to pull the truth from the depths, to unravel the threads of my past and weave them anew into the tapestry of my consciousness. Even now, I ache to soothe the wounds left by my absence, to comfort the hearts of those who mourn the beautiful chaos of our lives. Time flickers like distant stars, suspended and frozen. I can almost hear the echoes of my family in that kaleidoscope of memory. The careless laughter of Lily, the warmth in David's voice as he spoke my name, calling me home. In this quiet, I sense that they are searching for me, holding the watch, feeling the pulse of my spirit against their own hearts as they try to comprehend what now rests beyond their grasp. Then, from the abyss of memory, I see a glimmer, a flash of light connected to the watch. It is beyond simple nostalgia. There is something more profound at play, an energy that pulses over everything else. The watch feels like a heartbeat, an anchor to dreams left behind. I am compelled to discover what lies within. I envision the moment someone finds it, the watch revealing itself amid debris, its beauty intact against the chaos of shattered metal. In my mind's eye, that scene plays out in vivid detail. Fingers brushing against the surface, a tentative exploration, the realization of a connection reaching through the veil of time. What is this, they might say, as the light catches its reflection. I can almost hear the gasp as memories unfold in the air, the watch whispering secrets of a life once lived.
I imagine it falling into the hands of a stranger, or perhaps a loved one, their heart thumping against their ribcage as they grasp the legacy I left behind. Each tick of the watch loosens fragments of my heart, words long buried under the weight of grief, and for the first time I feel an unfamiliar warmth pulse through the silence. In that moment of discovery, will they feel me the way I felt them through the years? Will they know the love etched in every sigh and every word left unspoken? Will they understand the depth of my longing to embrace them once more, to impart a piece of me, to share the warmth of a love they could transcend even the limits of death? I drift, feeling the tendrils of time start to weave my existence into an intricate tapestry, lingering on the memories of those who loved me. In that instant, their grief becomes my solace, and through their touch of the old watch, a bridge is formed, a connection that transcends the barriers between life and the afterlife. My time, my love, my laughter, they flow back into the world, rippling and resonating in echoes too subtle to touch, yet infinitely powerful. And just before I let go, a realization springs forth. Perhaps the watch does hold my voice, my lingering essence sealed within the embrace of its memory. As my essence dances through the corridor of what once was, I understand that the most beautiful truths of love, joy, and hope are often found within the most ordinary objects. The weight of my past, my family, my unfulfilled desires, everything rests within it, woven into the very fabric of time. In my final moments, I release my breath, woven into the silence, and in that breath, I find peace. In the expanse of my liminal existence, the quiet swirls of my afterlife that ebbed and flowed like ocean waves, I felt a pull, an urging, like the gentle push of a tide, guiding me back to the moment that everything changed. My essence brushed against the fragments of time, knitting the spaces between breaths and echoes, preparing me for what was to come. I had lost so much, yet I now grasped a thread of understanding, and in that understanding lay the resolve to let go. Beneath this boundless awareness, I sensed the inevitability of my farewell, the necessity of a final act of love for those I cherished. It was time for my spirit to return to the world of the living one last time. I wanted to wrap my love around them, like a warm embrace against the chill of absence, to convey the words left unsaid. The watch, still tethered to the life I once knew, became my guiding light. I imagined it catching the sunlight, the gleam creating a halo, illuminating the path of memory that I had to traverse. My heart quickened as I envisioned the moment when it would be discovered. Would David be the one to find it? Or perhaps Lily, still carrying the innocence of childhood? Heartbeats echoed within my spirit as I bathed in the urgency of my purpose. A vision unfurled before me, the scene of my life playing out like a film reel, staccato flashes of fading images blending into one another, each frame bursting with emotion, filled with both beauty and pain. I saw David, his fingers brushing against the watch's surface, an unknowing wave of recognition washing over him. I imagined the way he would hold it, searching for a sense of comfort, for a thread of connection in the face of grief that threatened to consume him whole. I could see the anguish in his eyes, that profound loneliness that seeped through the cracks of his brave facade. "Anne," he would whisper, his voice shaking, that rasp of a heart longing for what it had lost. I captured that moment with all the fervor of a painter, carefully brushing each detail into the canvas of my consciousness, ensuring every color of his sorrow and love would blend to form an undeniable truth. I wonder if he would appreciate how much the watch had mirrored our lives, ticking away the moments we spent together, counting each heartbeat, a metronome echoing the rhythm of our shared laughter, our secret conversations, the quiet moments woven into the fabric of every day. Would the watch tell him I was still with him in some way? I yearned for him to feel my presence, to realize that death does not sever the bonds of love, but rather transforms them. Then the air shifted, and I was pulled once more into the kaleidoscope of our memories. It was a bittersweet whirlwind of our wedding day, filled with blossoms and laughter, the sun's warm embrace wrapping around us like a shimmering veil. I saw David's face illuminated by joy, the way he looked at me, eyes reflecting a love so pure that it became etched within my very being. I felt the weight of my wedding band resting on my finger, a circle of love that transcended time. It tugged at my heart, a bittersweet echo of nostalgia intertwined with the essence of all that I had lost. In those fleeting moments, I realized the depth of separation was filled with even deeper love, a reservoir of warmth that would always exist between us. Even in absence, love would transcend the vast distances of what I had become, an ethereal spirit yearning to be felt, heard, known. But now, it was time to say goodbye to that tumult of emotions, to transform my heartache into something pure and soothing, something that could slip through the cracks of reality and into David and Lily's embrace. I needed to embody acceptance, to solidify the bond that would live on beyond the veil. As I floated, I began to gather the threads of unresolved emotion, regrets echoing like distant thunderclouds. My heart whispered of all the times I had wished for more time, more laughter, more moments to embrace them. With each memory, I folded those regrets into light, compressing them into a luminous haze that brightened the darkest corners of my sorrow. The moment unfurled before me, pregnant with promise. I felt an overwhelming urge to imprint my presence into the fibers of their lives. Like an artist seeing their final masterpiece take shape, I guided my spirit towards that watch, embracing the essence of who I was, the woman who fought for her loved ones, who nurtured their dreams with unwavering devotion. And just like that, the atmosphere shifted, light refracted through the vory air around me. I felt lighter, a buoyancy filling the void of despair. In a moment of pure clarity, I understood that this farewell was not merely an ending, but a release, a gift meant to empower the lives I had touched. As darker thoughts fell away like dead leaves, memories bloomed with effulgence. My spirit soared, fueled by the energy wrapped in love, the laughter shared, dying but not forgotten, memories ready to resurface, waiting to be reclaimed. The moment was finally upon me. I was ready. I took a deep, shimmering breath, feeling as if the world of the living beckoned me back, an unfamiliar warmth illuminating my path. In this moment, I took solace in the silent promise. I would wrap my love around them like a shroud, delivering my essence from beyond the veil. My voice would find its way back, woven deep within the fibers of the watch, waiting patiently for the one who needed to hear it most. I would be the whisper in their hearts, the wind carrying a message, twirling in the shadows of remembrance, forever part of them, even in absence. "I love you," I said softly, my voice mingling with the silenced echoes, a melody that threaded its way through the dimness and into the light. In that final exhale, my spirit surged forward, and I surrendered the ties binding me to this ethereal space. I would shimmer through the void, transcending the boundaries between worlds, ready to embrace the unfolding ahead. And in that moment, I was reborn amid the very essence of love, carried forth on whispered winds. As my spirit began to intertwine with the light, I felt the weight of the past retreat, leaving behind only the ethereal imprint of longing, a soft echo reverberating through the corridors of existence. Time had become a fluid dance, where moments layered upon moments formed a tapestry of memories that blended seamlessly into one another. I was no longer tethered to the chaos and sorrow of that last flight. I floated instead in a liminal space echoing with whispers of love.
With each pulse of energy, I caught sight of the world below, a vista of tranquil beauty enveloped in shades of twilight. Like watching a distant storm roll across the horizon, I felt drawn towards the soft glow of a familiar light, a beacon illuminating the singular moment that would weave my essence back into the fabric of my family's lives. There it was, a scene unfolding with unexpected clarity. David, sitting alone in our living room, surrounded by the remnants of our shared life. A humble setting filled with photographs that lined the walls, snapshots of laughter and celebration, smiles frozen in time, forever echoing the warmth of our love. But now the air was thick with silence, a palpable absence that pulled at my heartstrings. David sat there, lost in thought, his fingers absent-mindedly running over the tabletop, tracing the patterns as if recalling every moment we had shared. I felt his sadness coat the room like a heavy blanket, draping over the once vibrant hues now dulled by grief. It pained me to see him caught in the weight of sorrow that had spilled into his life, a shadow cast by my absence. I tried to reach out, to touch him, to connect through the veil of existence, but I envisioned only the ripple of warmth drifting silently away, shimmering in the air before dissolving into dust. My heart insisted, "Find the watch." The urgency surged, propelling me closer to this moment. I could feel our connection, the bond that defied the distance between realms, urging me onward, pulling me back toward the gentle, telltale glint of the watch recently unearthed. Through that connection, I wove seamlessly to the floor of our home, materializing closer to the true heart of the matter. And there it lay, among the scattered papers and fallen leaves that had made their way inside, a beautiful, motionless object, reflecting fragments of time, holding our love bound tightly within its embrace. As David's hands brushed against the surface of our memories, I saw a hint of recognition flash across his face. The way he grasped the watch, reliving through that touch the joy of who I had been and the intersection of our lives. "Anne," he whispered, his voice breaking through the thick tension hanging in the room. In that shared sound was the weight of missing, the ache of absence palpable in the air. In that instant, I realized the power of voice, how it transcended the ephemeral and echoed like a melody carried on the wind. Closer now, I felt my essence draw nearer, intertwining with the fabric of his world, melding our truths in a gentle union that could illuminate the darkness surrounding him. "Can you feel me?" I murmured softly, my voice made of whispers and warmth, as flowing as a stream slipping through the rocks. "I am here, David, always. I'm still a part of you." With that intention emanating like starlight, I envisioned the watch pulsing with energy, resonating deep within its core. As he held it closer, the fears and doubts began to lift, replaced by the gentle warmth of love and remembrance. I could feel his grip tightening around it, as if, by holding the watch, he could also grasp the fleeting essence of me, my laughter, my essence, my love. A tear slipped down his cheek, shining with an ethereal glow, reflecting all the moments shared and cherished, mingled with sorrow for all that could no longer be. Then came the sound of my voice, soft and melodic like a tranquil breeze passing through the trees. "Remember how we danced in the kitchen?" I asked, not needing a response, but feeling the warmth of our shared history. A smile began to break through the clouds of despair, illuminating his features like dawn breaking over the horizon. "Remember the way you held me? How we embraced the world together? I'm still here, living through every memory we formed." With each word that pulsed from my essence into his heart, the watch began to tick, resonating into the universe. He felt it now, the steady heartbeat of our connection, a rhythm echoing through layers of existence, binding us forever in love. The watch symbolized not only the depth of what we had shared, but it also wove a bridge between our worlds, allowing me to touch him once more. Lily's laughter, once just a memory, became alive in the air around us, lilting through the silence like a songbird chirping at dawn. I felt the warmth of their bond as my essence continued to intertwine with their love, a fabric stitched from laughter, joy, sorrow, and remembrance. And in that embrace, I whispered assurances. You will find joy again. You will create new memories. Hold me close and let me be your guiding light. I'm alive in your heart. David's face lit with recognition, flickers of understanding igniting within, and he pressed the watch to his heart, memories floating freely through the dimensions surrounding us. I could feel his smile growing, love shining through the darkness. And then, with a final pulse of vibrant warmth, I felt myself drift back, slipping slowly from that connecting thread, knowing they would carry this moment within them. You will be all right, I whispered. Always look for me in our memories, and I will be there, forever enduring, always cherished. As I detached from that intimate space, I was filled with serenity, aware of the truth that lived on beyond the boundaries of life and death. I had delivered my love, and the bonds forged would continue to shine bright among the shadows, eternally guiding my beloved ones. In that warmly tethered moment, I felt the light embrace me, gently swirling me back into the cosmos, unwavering in the constancy of an unbreakable connection that transcended time. As the warmth of the light enveloped me, I sensed time gathering around itself, folding neatly like the petals of a flower. I floated amidst the brilliance, my spirit tingling with the essence of love, mingling with the memory of laughter and whispered words. It was here, in this infinite space between worlds, that I felt the threads of my existence weaving back to my life, to the beating hearts I had left behind. In the distance, I heard the faint echo of their voices, a fusion of past and present, each syllable resonating with familiarity, a melody harmonizing with the rhythm of my soul. The sound grew clearer, guiding me homeward, brimming with warmth and hope. I floated closer, my heart oscillating with the beat of their lives entwined with mine. Through the veil, I saw David, standing by the window, the soft glow of twilight painting his features. He cradled the watch in his hands, his face illuminated by the flickering light of remembrance. In that moment, time slowed, capturing the very essence of connection. I could feel the pulse of our memories thrumming in unison, his admiration of my spirit, his unwavering love, each heartbeat echoing through the stillness of the room. Lily's laughter floated, a gentle breeze carrying the sound of her innocence, like the tinkling of wind chimes in the warm summer air. I envisioned her with tousled hair, sunlight dancing in her eyes, embodying the joy I had embraced during my time on Earth. "Dance with me, Mom!" she would shriek, her excitement spiraling like a ribbon unfurling in the wind. Those moments, vibrant and alive, remained tethered to my essence, enduring in the heartbeats of my family. And then came the image of them together, David and Lily, laughing, embracing, allowing my presence to echo softly through their lives. I sensed the warmth between them, the bond rekindled by shared laughter and memories that overflowed like sunlight streaming through a window. It illuminated their hearts, showing them that I was not lost, but merely transformed, a whisper, a gentle caress, lingering in the space between. In that moment, I felt a sense of deep fulfillment, a lightness surging through me as my love cascaded around them like a warm embrace. Time drew near a benevolent close, wrapping its arms around me as I prepared to release the last remnants of my essence. I understood this wasn't an ending, it was the beginning of something new, the continuation of our story woven together by an ever-expanding spirit. Through their laughter and love, I found solace. "I am entwined with your joy," I spoke softly, my voice entwined with the breeze that filtered through the window. "In every step you take, in every breath you draw, look for me. I am the warmth in your heart, the sun on your back, the laughter in your memories. Love endures beyond the boundaries of life." In that moment, I solidified my resolve, ready to step beyond the veil, transcending the limitations of a singular existence, merging my essence with the vast expanse that awaits. I breathed in deeply, a shimmering exhale unfurling through the cosmos, embracing David and Lily one last time. The energy surged through me, igniting 1,000 memories to create a brilliant tapestry of love. Every shared note, every laughter, every moment stitched into the fabric of our bond. I infused that watch with all that I felt, a literal heart of our connection that would beat on through the years to come. And as I felt my essence dissolve into the light, I witnessed the flicker of realization dancing in David's eyes, a knowing that transcended grief, the understanding that love cannot be contained, cannot be confined to those we lose, but rather expands and binds us forever. In the stillness, I imparted the final whisper, "I love you." A soft sentiment drifting into the air, mingling with the golden light, an ember of my spirit that ignited smiles on their lips and left a trail of laughter lingering in their hearts. Wrapped in the embrace of eternity, I surrendered my spirit completely, letting go of the ties that bound me to the earthly realm. I transcended into the endlessness that awaited me, vibrant, serene, ever-present, as I melded with the universe, forever preserved within the bonds of love, the cadence of memories reflecting back to those we leave behind. And in the echoes of time, I found peace.